And just like that, we're back. Week 3 rankings are here. Week 2 was just phenomenal all around. Had some amazing games. Got to start off by saying this is not a power rankings based on how good the team is. This is just purely this season's accomplishment. So teams like, for instance, Florida or Tampa, their records aren't looking too great right now. They might be a little lower, even though they might be a better team. This is just based purely on season performance. So got to look at last week's ranks. See, we lost 6 teams, and it's kind of, it's early on. The rankings are really volatile. So we have a lot of movement early on. We're only 6 or 7 games into the season. Dallas was 1 last week. They're out of the top 10 completely. I did have them at 10 until last night when they lost to Columbus pretty badly. There was just no way I could keep them in. The Bruins, 5-game losing streak, they're out. Panthers, same thing. They had a 4-game losing streak. They did win yesterday, but still. They were 4 last week, they're out. Seattle was 5, they're out. Nashville, 7 out. And Minnesota, 9 are out. We have 6 new teams this week. So if you remember from last week, you already know who these teams are. But we'll get right into number 10. We have a new team, Pittsburgh. Team that I believe would be last place, bottom 2 in the Metro, I'd say. They're here right now sitting at rank number 10. They're 5-2. Last week they were 2-1. I mean, they've had some really good wins, and they've had players that have stepped up. You have Justin Brazeau. I mean, who in the right mind thought he'd be the top goal scorer so far in the season? Malkin still has 10 points. Then we've had some goalie performance. Tristan Jarry, we didn't think he'd be able to bounce back after the last couple seasons that weren't looking too great. He's starting off great. Then we have Silovs, who, same thing. They have almost identical stats, and it's just been really good for them to be able to have some strong netminders. This is exactly what this team needed, because they've always had the same sort of depth in a way where they could perform with lesser players, and now they have the goalies to back them up. So this is why they're number 10. They're currently number 6 power play, number 13 penalty kill. They just need some more production, getting some more shots on net. They're in the bottom half. And then they have a tough schedule coming up. They have a road game at Florida, and they host Columbus and St. Louis, 2 other really good teams. So we'll see if they can manage it, but so far they are deserving to be here in the top 10. They've done it. Number 9, we also have another newcomer, and I wish I could put them higher. I really wish I could, but I just can't yet. It's the Utah Mammoth. They were 1-2 last week, and this last week they went 4-0 to make their record sit at 5-2 with 10 points right now. Last night was an unbelievable game with Colorado. That was definitely the game of the night, in my opinion, and I'm really surprised that they were able to stick through the whole game and come out on top. So we have Nick Schmaltz and Gunther with 4 goals apiece. Schmaltz with 10 points total leading the team. And Vejmelka is 4-1 this season with a .911 and a 2.2 goals allowed on average. Power play is really poor. Although last night they did get a goal on the power play, is still 28th in the league. Penalty kills a bit better, 19th, and they're getting shots on goal, which is really important. That's what they need. Currently on a 4-game win streak. Again, as I said, they have all 4 in this last week. Calgary, San Jose, Boston, and then Colorado. And they have a really tough schedule coming up. St. Louis, Minnesota, and Winnipeg all on the road. And I believe after the Winnipeg game, they have another road game. I'm not sure exactly who, I forgot. But it's going to be a big test for them. But so far, they're looking great. And I'm just so happy to see that Utah is becoming what Arizona could never become. I think it's just really good to have this team good. So they're currently sitting at number 9. Number 8, we have another newcomer. Montreal has entered the party at number 8. They're also 5-2, 10 points. Last week they were 2-1, and now they've gone and gotten 3 of their last 4 this week. Caulfield with 5 goals, and the magic that he's had in overtime versus Seattle and Nashville, it's been unbelievable. So it's just been fun to see Montreal also be good. It's fun to see everybody good, but Montreal, they have a really good fan base, and those overtime games were electric. Montembeau has not been great. I know he's still getting the reins basically as starter, but it's been good to see Dobej. He's 3-0. He's got a .94, and he's got 1.64 goals allowed on average. Now, those games were against Detroit, Nashville, Buffalo. Detroit, obviously, a really good team. Maybe Nashville has fallen off and Buffalo is Buffalo. But nevertheless, those are amazing stats. And Montreal's won 5 of their last 6 games. They have Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, that West Coast road trip coming up. It's going to be tough to be away from home for over a week, so we'll see what they can do there. But their offense has been just pretty fun to watch, even though it hasn't been like as performance. It's more of a defensive. They currently are number 5 in shots against per game, 5 as in 5th least shots a game, which is just really what's keeping them in this, to be honest with you. It's such an important stat, and the goaltenders, they've stood up well, and even when Montembeau's been playing, the defense and offense have stepped up. So they've been able to score goals. They've been able to stop goals. Montreal's number 8 right now. And number 7, we have the Washington Capitals. They were a team that last week I could not put in yet in the top 10, but I really wanted to. They were really just right out on the outside, but now they're in for sure. Number 7, they're 5-2, and last week they were 2-1. Had a big win last night over Seattle, another team that was ranked last week. And Washington just looks like they can't get stopped right now. This is why they're doing good. Number 4 in shots per game and number 4 in shots against per game. That is exactly what a team needs to stay good. They have been able to stop teams from getting their shots against less than 25, and they have over 30 shots a game. And that's a big difference when it comes down to everything. And so they're able to get that production on defense and offense, which is helping them. Wilson and Protas, 4 goals apiece. Wilson with 10 points. Logan Thompson's 4-1 right now with a 9.27 and a 1.6 goals allowed on average. And then Lindgren, even in the 2 games he's played, he's 1-1. His stats are still amazing. So really good on defense. This is looking really strong. Power play has not been doing. It's not living up to the potential that they have. Obviously, with Ovechkin only having 1 goal, that kind of is a lot of it because he's always so productive on the power play. And penalty kill is not great, but they just haven't had a lot yet. Still early on in the season, but those shots per game and shots against is really helping them out. They have Columbus, Ottawa, and Dallas in the next coming games. They really, I would not be surprised if they go 3-0 in those games. They're looking really legit right now. That is why they are number 7 this week. Number 6, we have the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan Larkin is looking like a superstar. And, he's always been in star conversation, but this is his breakthrough year where he finally becomes maybe top of the top. He's got 5 goals and 11 points so far in 6 games. Detroit is on a 5-game win streak. They started off 0-1 with a terrible loss to Montreal. They've won 5 in a row now. They have Buffalo and the Islanders before they go to a doubleheader with the Blues. They could really go on a 7-game win streak going into this doubleheader. It really is not out of the picture at all. They have beaten Florida, Tampa, Edmonton, and Toronto twice. I mean, great strength of schedule and strength of victory really right there. Cam Talbot is 3-0 with a 9.32 and a 1.78. John Gibson's 2-1, slightly less stats, but this tandem, I really wasn't sure about it, and it's working out really well for them. I'm really surprised to see it. Power play is 15th middle of the pack. Penalty kill, they're number 4, and shots against, they're number 6. So again, defense, strong defense here in Detroit, and they're just stopping. They're just not letting teams score. Their last 4 games, they've allowed 2 goals, 1 goal, and 2 goals respectively. Just all around greatness from Detroit. If they keep it up, they could be the team that finally makes the playoffs. They're on a 9-year streak of missing the playoffs, so it'd be nice to see them back in it. After 28, 25 years in a row they had beforehand. So it'd be nice to see them back in and maybe an Atlantic contender. It'd be fun. Next, we have our first returning team. Finally, we have the New Jersey Devils. Last week they were number 10 on our rankings. They were 2-1. Now they're 5-1. They have 10 points. They're on a 5-game win streak, 3 games this week, all games that were won. At Columbus versus Florida and versus Edmonton, and then at Toronto. I guess Columbus was last week, but so Florida, Edmonton, and Toronto. Just again, Jack Hughes is also doing the same thing that I was just talking with Larkin. He's just taking it to the next step. He's been better than Larkin, but he is just taking it on all the way. He's being a top 5 player, and so far he's really top 3, I'd say. Jack Hughes, 6 goals and 9 points, and then behind that, Bratt has 10 points. He leads the team in points, but Hughes in goals. Jake Allen is 3-0 so far, and they're having some injuries. Markstrom's still hurt. I think Allen right now will be able to maintain the load. I think he's definitely comfortable doing that. Luckily for them, they don't have any back-to-back days this coming week. They have a day off in between each game, so that'll be good for Allen. I don't know how long it will be until Markstrom is back, but in the meantime, Allen is definitely going to be comfortable enough to maintain starting goal all week. He's got a 9.31 and then also 1.19 goals allowed on average. New Jersey, number 5 power play, number 3 penalty kill, and they're 13th in shots per game. They're just electric all around, offense and defense. They've scored 5, 5, 3, 3, and 5 in their last games, and then they've only allowed really, what is that? That's 11 goals in their last 5 games. Really good stuff in their win streak right now. They do have a bit of a tough schedule with Minnesota. They do have San Jose in between, but then they have a doubleheader with Colorado, so that will be interesting to say the least to see how they can do there. Coming in at number 4, we have the Winnipeg Jets. Last week they were number 6 at 2-1, and now they are 5-1, also on a 5-game win streak. I feel like going through the same story with a lot of these teams, but again, we're so early on. 5-game win streak, and they have not allowed more than 2 goals in any of those games. Scheifele is currently leading the team with 7 goals and 10 points. Cal Connor also has 9 points right behind that. Hellebuck finally is kind of evening out. We did see the first few games when we reviewed them last week. The numbers just weren't really there. And again, it's just such a small sample size. But now they've got that, and it's kind of he's corrected himself, his stats. He's got a 9.27, and he's allowing 2.21 goals a game. Winnipeg is a team 3rd in the power play and number 1 in the penalty kill. And they're so good on the penalty kill that even when you look at the net, they are above 100% just because they've gotten a couple shorties earlier on. And I mean, there's nothing else to say there. The only thing I will say is that Winnipeg is struggling getting shots and also allowing shots. They are 29th in shots per game and 27th in shots allowed per game. But again, it's not the biggest deal when your shots that you're taking are scoring. So they're doing a really good job of doing that. And then their goaltending has been definitely catching up from the first week. So they have Seattle, Calgary, Utah, Minnesota coming up this week. It's a tough schedule. Calgary will be their break, I'd say. They're at home for that. But Seattle, Utah, Minnesota, all really good teams. So definitely will be interested to see how they do. Winnipeg right now, it really sucks to see that the Central is so stacked on the top because someone's going to have to miss it. So the top 3 items at least. And Colorado's just looking really good right now. Winnipeg is great. Dallas has fallen off a bit. They're 3-3 right now, so maybe they'll be down below. But Winnipeg definitely is top 2 right now in the Central, and they definitely have a chance at winning. So we'll be interested to see what they do next week. We also have number 3 as another returner. We have Carolina. Last week they were number 8, but that was hard for me to decide because they'd only played 2 games at the time. Now they've played 6. They are 5-1. Last game they played Vegas. That was their first loss. They started 5-0. They were the last undefeated team. Still going into the Vegas game, they had a 5-game win streak, looking great. Seth Jarvis, 6 goals and 9 points. Sebastian Aho right behind with 8 points. Freddie's been all right. Annette, still, they're doing all this without Kochetkov, so will be definitely a team to beat when he comes back. Power play is lacking. They are one of the only 2 teams that are below 10%. Penalty kill is great though. They're 11th right now. So, and the big thing is their offense. They're getting pucks on net. They have the most shots on goal per game by over 2. So just a lot of offensive production, and this is why they're scoring goals. And then when you look at it on shots against, they're 2. They've only had 23.3 shots against a game. I mean, they're really just showing pure dominance right now. So they do have a very tough schedule. Their next 3 games, Colorado, Dallas, and Vegas again. they can win 2 of those games, it'd be huge. Really, 2 of the Colorado Vegas games, but in general, any just 2 wins right there, that's a really good victory for this week for Carolina. So right now they're sitting at 3. Definitely one of the best teams right now. Definitely the best in the Metro so far. All right, at number 2, we have another new entrance. We have the Vegas Golden Knights. They were just barely out of it last week, but I still just couldn't find a reason to put them up top with a 1-0-2 record. But they were looking really good still in those losses. But now they have a 4-game win streak. They are 5-0-2, 12 points. And last week, this just moves them up all the way to number 2. And this win over Carolina on Monday, I was going to have Carolina at number 2 originally, but this win by Vegas over them just puts them ahead slightly. Dorofeyev with 7 goals, Eichel 16 points, Stone 13 points, and Marner 10. There's teams that still don't have players with 10 points, and Vegas has 4. So it's just been an unbelievable start so far. Schmidt is 4-0. Very good. He's been able to stick through even though Hill's had some injuries. The power play is lethal right now, second in the league right now, and their penalty kill could be better, but they're doing the same thing that Washington and Carolina are doing. They're getting shots on net, and they're not allowing the opponents to get shots on their net. They're 6th and 8th in those 2 stats, respectively. They're just looking great all around. They have Florida, Carolina, and Tampa on this road trip. It's an East Coast road trip. It's going to be a tough one for them, but I think, again, Vegas, they just looked dominant. They can be the best team in the league if they want to. They were my cup favorites going into the season, and right now they're looking like it. All right, and then at number 1, we have the Colorado Avalanche. Last week, they were number 2, so just a slight little bump up. They were 3-0-1 last week, and now they are 5-0-2. Last night, I just couldn't, even with the loss last night, I could not drop them down. They've just looked so good, and even last night, they played really well. And they almost came back, and that was a crazy goal by Natchez at the end, but Utah was just the better team overall. But Colorado is still one of the 2 teams with no regulation losses. They are 5-0-2. I just had to keep them at 1. McKinnon, 6 goals, 10 points. Natchez, 11 points. Wedgwood is still the Wedgwood show. He's still doing it by himself, 9.27 and a 1.84. Going into last night, all 5 of their wins, they've only allowed 1 goal. So it's really hard to just put that past them. They are phenomenal on defense right now. 30th in power play, again, terrible. Just inexcusable with that team, especially after last year's power play. They were, top 10 easily last year, and they just haven't clicked yet. Penalty kill has been great, 11th, and they're getting, again, top 10 in both shots and shots against. They are number 2 in shots per game. The offense is just so good. McKinnon is just so fun to watch, and Natchez is just the perfect line mate right there, and he's also just, he's leading the team in points right now. So they do have Carolina tomorrow. That's going to be a phenomenal game. They also play at Boston, at New Jersey throughout this week. So again, another tough schedule for a team like this to stay. I don't know if they'll be able to stay 1 with this, but as of right now, they look like the best team in the league, and they are number 1 also in the rankings this week. But yeah, there you go. We have the Week 3 rankings topped up by Colorado, Vegas, Carolina, Winnipeg, and New Jersey in the top 5. And then the bottom 5 are all new teams. We have Detroit, Washington, Montreal, Utah, and Pittsburgh. And that's rounding up our top 10 right here for Week 3. Again, still so early on, but this is just based on what they've done so far. They all deserve to be in the top 10 right now. And there are some better teams that aren't here. There really is how it's going. There are some better teams that have not performed up to expectations just yet. I think they'll be able to catch up. Again, we're so early, so we'll see how it goes. This is where we're at right now. Make sure you stay tuned. We have more rankings coming out next Tuesday. We also have some new videos. I want to make some new content coming out other than just rankings, but I'm still trying to experiment on what that will be. So make sure you like and subscribe if you have not done so yet, and stay tuned for the next video.